Welcome. So Jess Medland is joining us on the pod today. We're so excited to have her. She is currently a senior TV producer for Sky Sports F1 and is one of the people helping bringing race weekends to our screen every single week. And so we're going to get into what a producer actually does, what happens behind the scenes during a race weekend, and just her journey from loving F1 to realizing, oh my gosh, it could be a career. So Jess, welcome to Girls Just Wanna F1.
Thank you so much. I have had Cyndi Lauper in my head like all week.
Thanks.
Time. So yeah, I'm going to stop myself from like breaking out into song because that would not be a good show. But
Listen,
yeah, I'm very
do
excited
it.
to be here. No, I'll
We're in
save your
Nashville.
viewers that. Okay.
We can't throw a rock without hitting another singer. So if you want to bust into song, this is kind of the best place to do it. But for real, thank you so much for coming. You're someone who's been kind of on our bucket list of guests to have on. And when this podcast was started, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago, can't really keep up anymore. You know, there weren't nearly as many women in this space as there are now. And you were one of the first on our radar. So it's very, very exciting that we have you here. And yeah, thanks for taking time out of your busy workday to hang out and yap. We're pumped.
Yeah.
Big time.
Awesome. Yay. So we need to start with your Instagram bio because I love it. Senior producer of cars going around in circles on your TV. It's giving like explain your job badly.
Yeah.
Feelings. Like what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It was actually when I joined Sky Sports, I'd obviously come from a world that was so much, I guess, like a bit freer, like not as corporate as what I am in now. And so I think my previous bio had been something along the lines of like, if it's got an engine and wheels, I'll probably like it. And so I kind of wanted to just give that same feeling towards, because obviously there are strict rules and regulations over what I'm now allowed to put forward as part of my job. So I don't know, there was something slightly, I don't know, tongue-in-cheek about not giving the full picture, so that if people came across me then and hadn't followed me through my entire career, then maybe they would get a sense of like, this is kind of my personality in a single sentence, which and it's also a really good mantra if you ever get overstimulated or a bit like over worried about what stressed with work and life, is that all I am doing is making pretty pictures of cars going around in circles. Like, it's not that deep. Like, I love it, and I'm so thrilled that I get to do this, but it's not that deep. I'm not saving lives. I'm making TV. So I think that's just like a little bit of a reminder for me that that keep me grounded. This is all I do.
I think it's so funny because whenever we post something about like 20 men driving in circles, 22 men driving in circles, some people get so mad at us. And I think if you take one look at our, like, we don't take ourselves very seriously. So all the social content is pretty much just like, if it makes us laugh, we're putting it out there. And the podcast stuff is just like, hey, who's doing cool stuff in this space that we want to interact with? So I like that. I mean, looking at it on paper, you think like, whoa, this is a very serious job. And I'm sure that it is, but yeah. I think it's good that you kind of carry yourself with that attitude of it's not that serious, because I can imagine if I guess like you felt the complete opposite way of like everything is very serious, and like you would sense that in the broadcast, Yeah. You wouldn't necessarily have that like fluidity and flow.
Yeah. I mean, you're totally right. My job has a lot of responsibility, and you do feel that you carry the fact. It's a strange one. Someone's asked me before, like, are you aware there's like millions of people watching your decisions like live on TV? Like, does that ever get to you? Like, are you ever bothered by that? And when you're in it, I don't think it even comes across. Like, it's not something that even crosses my mind. But then when I walk away and I'm like, oh yeah, like 1.5 million people probably saw me do that. That is, I try not to let myself think about it too much, because I think if I did, I would
go insane,
freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's also, I think I think with any job, especially when I just think when you're creating content, if you're not having fun, you probably shouldn't be doing it anymore, because
100%.
It's too much work to not be having fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
At what point did little Jess go from I love Formula One to wait. People actually get paid to do this? This is insane. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think I'm still like almost in that disbelief moment right now. So it was kind of, yeah, I was definitely somebody who had no idea what they wanted to do in work, in life. I wanted to leave
Still there.
options open. Yeah, I think I'm probably still working it out. Um,
Mm-hmm. Same.
but all I knew was that I wanted to, whatever I did, I wanted to be really successful. I think like I was always someone who had a lot of ambition, and I wanted to be, putting it plainly, I wanted to be special.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. So it probably wasn't until I actually started my career in sales. So when I came out of university, I was a salesperson, like selling little adverts at the back of magazines, which obviously isn't even really a thing anymore.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's like I haven't been out of school that long.
Genuine. I mean, what is it now? Like, when was that? 2013. So yeah, you are kind of going back a little while ago now. But then, like, I was just fortunate enough to work at a company that had Autosport as one of their titles. And I wasn't working on it initially. Actually, one of my best friends, and she was bridesmaid at my wedding, and she's still one of my best friends. We interviewed for the same job, and she ended up working on Autosport, and I ended up working on like this business title called Management Today, which was definitely not fun or sport or even like consumer facing.
Sounds very sexy.
Oh, it was like, yeah, it was aimed at CEOs. So yeah, you can probably get a sense for what that was like and who I was kind of talking to. But I used to bother the Autosport team all the time, like talking about Formula One. Like I was lucky enough to go to races, so I would like as a fan, so I would like talk to them all about like where I was going or what I was doing. And then I got a job on it. Finally managed to badger them to let me work for them. And all of a sudden it was like, this sales stuff doesn't feel so hard when you're talking about a subject that you really like, or you're talking to people that are in the industry. And I was like, okay, well, maybe this would be fun. Like if I could just keep doing this, because it doesn't feel like a sales job. Like it feels like I'm just having great conversations with people that also like motorsport. But then it was kind of, I was starting to spot gaps in the market. And I think that was where I was just like, why aren't we doing social media? Why aren't we doing all of this stuff? Like why we could be unlocking this sport for so many different people and we're not doing it. And I think it was that kind of when I could change this, like I could start doing this. And I made like a big risky move and I quit my job and I got another job at a social media publisher, which at that time felt like career suicide because it was like a startup company and it was mainly talking about cars. So it was like an automotive company, but brand new. I think I was the 20th employee or something. But 6 months being there, they bought WTF1, which RIP is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
I know. I'm genuinely like, I think, Tommy and I were having a good chuckle about it the other day, actually, and kind of reminiscing a little bit about what a wild time it's been. But yeah, I think it was when my company bought that brand and Tommy came and joined the company, I was like, nah, this is it. This is my moment. I need to be in control of this, and I need to take this as big as I know that it can get, because this is going to change the world. And I think it was kind of then that I was like, I could do that. This is what I'm meant to do. This is exactly what I'm meant to do. And it was not easy. It was not all, butterflies and, angels going, oh, this is it. This is the moment. But it definitely, I think, felt like I'd found my niche and I'd found what I was really good at, and then after a lot of convincing of the CEO of that company at the time, he gave me the reins and I was like, right, watch me run. Like I'm gonna do this. So yeah, it was a mixture of that, but it was never really like, there was never really one moment. It was all just chasing kind of what I felt was natural and where I felt like my instincts were telling me to go. So yeah, I think that was kind of how it became a job. People pay me to do this. This is crazy.
Well, and you're very good at it. And I imagine instinct plays a huge role in what you do now.
Yeah, big time. Editorial instinct is everything. So obviously being at places like WTF1, which was all social media, and then going into now a legacy company, traditional media, TV, like linear, they're two different worlds, but they are needing to start colliding.
Absolutely.
And we're obviously starting to see that happen, and it's been happening for a long, long time. Well, as long as I've probably been in social media now. So yeah, it's about knowing how those two worlds can kind of coexist and how to bridge the gaps between what used to be seen as two very different strands or mediums. And yeah, so definitely, like, you need to know, what do people really care about? I think fundamentally that is my job. My job is to know what audiences care about and tell stories in a way that they're going to enjoy or that they're going to really relate to. So that's central to what I've been doing probably for the past 10 years.
Amazing. Well, diving in a little more to like your role as a producer, I always love knowing a little bit of behind the scenes details that we might not get just from watching the broadcast. So I'm curious, what's something that fans see every race weekend and they probably just assume magically happens, but maybe it takes a whole lot of effort?
So I always say the biggest thing probably that people think just happens is Martin's grid walk. So Martin's grid walk is a carefully planned out, craziest bit of live television. So when I say it's carefully planned out, we make every single intention to map it out. So the way it happens is a Formula One will send us a document that has a list of all of the celebrities that they expect to attend and who they are associated with, because obviously sometimes they're invited by a team, sometimes they're invited by the circuit, sometimes they're invited by Formula One, sometimes they're invited by a sponsor. So that's a really useful piece of information. Firstly, because I can see what the heck they look like, because there's so, I mean, the amazing thing about Formula One recently is that it's attracted so many different, not just fans, but so many different celebrities. So from all cross sections of entertainment. So that gets sent out, and Martin and I kind of take a look and we'll go, right, who's our targets? Like, who would we love to get? And we kind of,
and who's like friendly to talk to him, because I love the grid walk, and sometimes he gets mean mugged so hard and he takes it like a champ and is a little cheeky back, but I'm always like, I have a lot of anxiety watching it, but also I love watching it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah it does just feel like he's just out there wandering around with his mic like, hey you, and he knows their name and he just starts talking and they can't hear him. Sorry, continue, did not mean to interrupt.
No, so that's kind of how it all starts. And then we usually have a meeting on Sunday morning with Formula One's like VIP team, and they will tell us, right, here's everyone we know is going on the grid, or we've given access to the grid, and here's how they feel about talking to the media. So they'll kind of give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on certain celebrities. So then based on our hit list, we kind of then maybe have to cross some people out because either they're not attending anymore or they've already said they don't want to talk to the media. And then when it comes down to it, we will, obviously the editorial is important as well, so we'll kind of pick a place that we want to start the grid walk. So depending on what the storylines are for the race will just depend on where we start. If I'm lucky enough to have managed to get contact information for like the agents of these people or the publicists, I'll arrange to meet them at a certain car or whatever. So we lay out the foundation like before we get going. Then when it comes down to it, it's a free-for-all. Like, it's a complete free-for-all. So
how do you know where these people are in like the span of, you're just hoping you bump into them?
So if I'm on site with Martin and we're planning this together, I am his eyes. So I am scouting to see anybody that I can recognize and what they're wearing. And then I have a button on my pack that basically goes into Martin's ears. And I'll say something like, Zach Brown, front of Lando's car. And he'll aim for the front of Lando's car and try and pick up Zach Brown. When it's a celebrity, I'll have to say name of celebrity, black hat, in next to Charles Leclerc's car. And the thing about the grid walk is, especially in places like Miami where it's so busy, both of us lose sense of where we are on the grid. So just saying Leclerc's car sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes I'll have to be 2 cars in front, left-hand side. So I basically give him directions of how to find the celebs. And then I'm basically doing this. If he loses me, I'm like, here, which is why so often, I mean, we're meant to
I'm gonna be looking
avoid
for you.
being, yeah, so it helps that I have red hair. Not many people in F1 have red hair. So he's usually just looking out for my red hair and my little I wear this amazing kit that makes me look like a Teletubby. And I have an aerial on top of my head.
Love it.
So he's
Whatever
looking
works.
out for me, like, to find me. And then he'll just go. But while he's talking to the celebrity, I'm still in his ear, like, telling him where he needs to go next. So sometimes he will spot someone and he knows who they are and he'll talk to them. But for the most part, yeah, it's whoever the producer on the floor is, like, telling him where to go, who's there, who is it, what they're wearing. So it's 10 minutes of chaotic television.
Oh my gosh.
That is way more produced than it looks. But that's our job, is to capture the craziness of the grid before lights out. And it's most people's favorite part of our broadcast. Like,
it's so fun.
We love it. It's probably, like, the most stressful part of our weekend, or my weekend.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Because you also want to do good for Martin, right? Like, he is making himself super vulnerable. It's the only kind of 10 minutes of television that anybody does solo, and he has no idea what's going to happen. So it's always just, a bit of, it's just loads of support, loads of luck half the time. Like, sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time. We've had awful grid walks. Like, Monaco is so hard to find people because it's so narrow.
Small and so, and so crowded.
Yeah. And then you'll have other ones where not many celebrities are there, so you're kind of relying on finding key F1 people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we love doing more of the technical ones. Like, you'll probably have seen when Martin's not there, like, we'll do more technical ones with, like, Bernie or Ted or Karun and Rachel or whoever else is kind of stepping into that. We call it a grid meander when it's not Martin.
I love it.
So whoever's doing that moment on the grid. But yeah, sometimes it's 10 minutes of solo talking for him. Like, he's got to have...
And he has to talk between, like, you can't just be silent while you're, like, muscling your way through all these cars and people and everything. He literally is just, like, narrating his internal monologue.
Big time.
I'm such a...
And
also, I'm obsessed.
So he's got me in his ear. He's got our director's assistant who's telling him how long he has left, so counting down. And then sometimes, like, the producer back in our TV gallery, in our live TV gallery, sometimes they'll chip in too if we feel like he's lost or we've lost each other or something. So there's a lot of voices in his head, and then he has to talk at the same time. So,
and every track is different.
He is an absolute legend, and rightfully has the respect that he has. But man, oh man, that is a segment that you wouldn't believe how much work actually goes into when it looks so random and free and just live. But we love it.
I think it just shows to, like, when you do the planning, when you do the work, you're able to create something that can be a little more organic, a little more chaotic. So it just shows to, like, how good you are at your job. So props to you on that.
Well, how good Martin is at broadcasting as well.
It's a team effort, you know.
Team effort, yes.
Yeah, big time.
Have you ever had a moment where you thought, "Oh my God, we're live. This is live. Oh my God."
That moment? I don't think so. Like, I feel
Not yet.
Maybe I will have that.
Sorry, cursed. Now it's happening.
Maybe it was the first. So when I'd obviously been brought into Sky with no TV experience at all, which is very rare. I do feel a little bit like an alien sometimes when you talk to people about, like, because most people have done the ladder, right? Like, most people have done the work and they've started as a junior assistant producer or something and they've worked their way up. I didn't. I came in as I say, I don't know why I call myself an alien, but maybe that's just how I view myself. It says more about me. The first time I was let loose in the gallery and they were like, right, this is your show now. Like, you are in control. This is all you. I think that was a moment where I was like, holy
beep.
You
can cuss on here, it's fine.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I love that. If I mess up, this is live. Like, if I say the wrong thing, if I lose my place, if I, panic, because I think that's you have so much adrenaline racing through your body when you're live producing that you could very easily, as much as I think nowadays it like sharpens your focus, it could very easily send you into a spiral and it could all fall apart. But fortunately, I haven't had any, like, I've not fallen off air, so that's good. That's, you know, that is a big fear of like,
proud of you,
is that you fall off air. So that's what happened. So yeah, I think it was probably that first. It was FP3 Saudi Arabia in 2023, and I was given the reins for the first time, and it was just like, how am I allowed to do this? So yeah.
Yes, it's almost like a okay, I've got my big girl panties on. Okay, I guess I'm doing this.
Big time. Yeah, like you have nowhere to hide now. This is all you. But no, it was great, and it kind of kick-started everything else, and now I'm here, kind of, yeah. What is it? 3 years down the line, and
wow,
you know, I'm live producing Silverstone for the first time this year, so that is obviously like our
so exciting
big show. So yeah, I've been on the ground for all the previous ones, which is great, obviously, because love Silverstone. But yeah, I've been given the reins this year, so that's just a big it will be a big moment, I think, for me personally, to
absolutely
that was my show. So
yeah. Well, okay, so that segues into my next question, because you mentioned in the email we were like trying to schedule, because obviously you're on another continent. We're trying to schedule around what's best for you, and we're like, hey, maybe in the gap between Miami and Canada, does that work for you? And you're like, I'm actually not calling Canada. I think Allison and I both assumed you just do like every single race. So are there a certain number of races on the calendar that you do? Are there multiple people that do your job? And if you're not calling a race, are you still there in some capacity? Are you like back at home? Are still working? Are you off the clock? Like, how does that work? Because it is like a serious job, and I imagine, like, what if you get sick or something and you're like incapacitated to the point you can't work? Like, how does that work? Sorry, that was like 6 questions.
No, it all links into one answer, so you're all good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to answer your question, so we have 3 producers, so 2 senior producers, so my colleague Tommy and I are the senior producers, and then we have another producer, Jack, who works on, and between the 3 of us, we split the season into thirds. So 8 where you are live producing and you're in the chair, as we call it. 8 when you are on site and you're field producing. So that would be if you would be the one working on things like Mine's Grid Walk. And then 8 where you are what we call it in a prep weekend. So as I've kind of suggested, I'm producing Silverstone. So I'm kind of using this breather, because I'm not what we call, I'm not actively involved in Canada, but I am on call. So you're right. Like if one of my colleagues has an emergency or falls ill, because that happens, then I would be expected to jump in, which we can do, obviously. But I also quite enjoy the ability to watch from home, because although I'm not involved, like I still have to watch pretty much every frame of our coverage.
Of course.
Otherwise, I will just feel like I'm behind. So, but it's really nice to actually watch it as a fan again, because when we're making the TV, you're so in it that you kind of maybe lose perspective a little bit. So the ability for me this weekend to watch from home and kind of make notes, not critiques, right?
Sure.
We're all a team, but just like, oh, do you know what? Like that made no sense for me as a viewer at home, because well, I love that bit was amazing, and we should be doing this every week. Like that just allows a bit of space away from being so close in it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll be doing this weekend, and then I'm back in the chair for Spain in a few weeks. So yeah, so I'm doing Spain, and then I do Silverstone after that. So yeah, I'm already plotting kind of ideas that I want to try and execute, and things that will make those 2 races look amazing. So yeah, that's kind of what my main roles are now that I'm not in Canada or in the gallery.
Can I ask a potentially tacky question?
Always.
Okay, so I feel like this has been such a weird season because of like all the gaps, and I think like does it feel weird for you as someone who like works in this space? It feels very like, all right, we're getting some momentum, and it's like, oh, we don't have anything for 3 weeks and this is canceled and whatever. Like it as a fan, I just feel like this season more than others, I'm just like fighting for my life to be engaged. I want to be engaged, you know, but I'm just like, I guess I kind of feel like an alien. I'm just like untethered in space. But I know
It's
that
always a little weird when Twitter, Threads, Instagram gets real quiet about F1 and you're like,
hello, is anyone?
What do I do with my life? What do I do with my life?
What is my personality apart from this? But my question is, that might be a little tacky, is I know that obviously you're online, you've worked in social. I feel like there was a lot of fuss about the wags being shown too much. Did that make its way across your desk? And was that something that the team was like, okay, we got to figure out how we prioritize more of this, or what? Was that something? I mean, I'm sure y'all were privy to it, but like,
yeah.
What kind of conversations, I guess, were happening, if there were any?
Fun fact, we don't produce the race sessions. So that the only bits that we are in control of are the pre-show and the post-show.
Wow.
Okay. When we go to Crofty, obviously Crofty and Martin, like they are our commentators, so we have control over what they say, or we can help shape or change things. Every single broadcaster in Formula One is sent the same feed directly from Formula One. Mm-hmm. So that's actually not something that we have to consider.
Gotcha.
That's something that F1 provides to everybody. So there are different rules where we can go like split screen, but we always have to be on what's called the international feed.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, we don't really like. I have to be careful because I can't have as much of an opinion as I used to be able to have on certain things. I sold my soul. No, I didn't really. But I can understand people's frustrations. However, we know that F1 is bigger now than just the sport. Like, it's bigger now than just the action, and that there are interests in and around the drivers as athletes. It's also around the drivers as personalities, and with that comes who's in their circle, who are they connected with, and also, like, I mean, I could look at Alexandra Leclerc all day.
Oh my God.
She is,
you aren't lying.
Seeing her in real life, like, just
unreal.
I can't believe she's real.
Unreal.
Right.
So I think there's I can definitely sense that there's a balance to be struck. I think.
Sure.
The one thing that nobody wants to see is those shots being chosen over and above race action.
Right.
And I think
exactly.
And that's fair.
That's where the balance needs to be struck. Like, is this the time to cut to a partner, or is this the time? I mean, obviously, when we have those, I think it was Leclerc's win in Monaco, where qualifying, where they kind of cut between Maggie, Lando's girlfriend at the time, and Alexandra and Arthur Leclerc, and it was kind of like cutting between their reactions as to whether they were stressing with their driver get on pole. Like, that is part of the story, I think, personally. These are the people that are closest to them and are kind of showing when we can't see emotion because we have 22 drivers all wearing helmets inside metal cars. That's what gives us the human story. It's like, where's the emotion here? Because it's clearly like any kind of sport is built on emotion, right? It's why we love it so much. It's that the achievements or the heartbreak, and I think that they are what is able to give us a sense of how the emotions might be. Everybody freaking loves a good old Toto Wolff table bang or I look to camera,
slamming of the
headset.
Like,
that is
yes,
the headset, everything, right? Like, we like seeing emotion. So I think it's part and parcel, but there should always be a balance, and it should never be at the detriment of racing action. If we miss racing action, then it was probably a slight miss from direction. But yeah, the direction, I mean, one of my hopes is actually to do a behind the scenes with Formula One to show fans how the race direction works, because having been there and seen it myself, it is an insanely hard job. And
I can imagine.
They do such a, considering like how much goes on, and just like the space that we take up, like how many track cameras,
so many camera angles,
like, all
and
of that. It's so
insane.
many screens. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
many
yeah.
screens.
And
so many screens.
So many people talking to you at the same time, like telling you this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And for you to be able to make a split decision and go, no, stick with this, or take the onboard, come off board, where's the replay? Like there is so many things that is being juggled at one time. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to show people what that looks like, because I think it will give a good idea as to why certain decisions are made. But yeah, watch this space. It's something I'm working on in the background.
Yes.
She said, watch this space.
You did that a little bit with the post about Oscar Piastri's crash in Australia. Like that, I was like, pure cinema. This is pure cinema. Just watching the like orchestration of that was so incredible. And it really did. It demonstrated just how much work is going into like, this is happening. We have to catch this right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes so much teamwork to even the little bits that we do, i.e. the build up and the post show. It takes so much work, and it's those moments, I think, and the reason why, I mean, I always record myself just for posterity, because I like to watch it back and kind of think, did I do the right thing? Could I have done better?
Most people can't watch themselves. That's really impressive.
Oh god, it's cringy. Like, you have to get over the cringe, like big time. You just have to put on your big girl pants and go, right, I'm doing this to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of those where I was like, this just shows, even though obviously you don't see anybody else other than me, because obviously I want to respect the privacy of other people, but it takes so much teamwork. Like, it takes so much trust that we're all just gonna do the right thing. I mean, you'll hear when it happens, and I say to Ted, like, Oscar's crashed, go to Crofty. There's no question. Like, there's just, I'm off to Crofty, and then Crofty knows Ted's going to throw to me and I'm going to pick up, and I'm like, a lot of it is just purely based on the experience of this team. Like, we've been doing it since 2012. There's a lot, well, and beyond, like obviously Ted and Crofty and Martin and everybody were involved even before 2012 because they were working for other rights holders. But there's so much trust involved, and I think that is probably one of the key things that you need to do this job. Is, yes, fundamentally the responsibility is on me to do the right thing and to get it right and to call for the right stuff, but you are relying heavily on just to give you an idea, in the TV gallery is about 15 people, all doing various different things, whether that's replays, whether that's graphics. I've obviously sat with the director, who is actually the person who pulls what I want onto the screen and makes it look good, because good job, that's not my job. But yeah, so it's in those moments of, they're the ones that make you go, crikey, this is why we do this job. Like, this is why we do this. Obviously, everybody wants a straightforward day or a straightforward like race, but it's in those moments of, I mean, I wasn't with the team in 2021. Abu Dhabi 21, I think I would have absolutely have loved to have been like behind the scenes to see how that happened. I mean, we won a BAFTA for it.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, I was on the ground, but not for Sky, unfortunately, at that point. Yeah, I think those moments where literally you're like, what on earth is happening? Like, what is going on? We have the best team around us that just know what to do instinctively, and yeah, you put it together, which is, yeah, it's a fantastic thing to be a part of.
When the broadcast ends, do you ever find yourself just needing to like sit in a dark room for 3 hours?
Oh, big time. Like, the first thing I swear to God, I don't drink in the week, right? Like, but when I come home from a race weekend, I'm like, right, I'm going to eat, and I'm having a glass of wine, and I am decompressing. And yeah, it's because, again, like I say, like, you've gone through a whole weekend of like adrenaline just coursing through your veins. But I think, like, yeah, that I would say it's gotten kind of easier and easier as time has gone on. Like, if you have a good race, you just kind of feel pumped. Like, there's a sense of pride that you have from doing a good job like that.
Yeah.
That just keeps you going. But when I first started, used to get, as a producer, you can probably have up to like 8 people in your ears at one time. So you have so many voices in your head. Yeah.
My ADD will be like, pew, 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 pew.
Right.
Yes.
So your brain is it's actually amazing how quickly your brain learns how to filter like all of that noise into, I need to hear this, who's saying that. But when I first did it, I used to get something called talkback dreams, where even though my headset was off, I would hear voices in my head, like when I would try and go to sleep.
Ooh, that'll mess you up.
Yeah, I was like, am I going crazy?
Am I mad?
And when I said
No,
it
it's just the
to
job.
my colleagues, when I said it to my colleagues, like, oh yeah, talkback dreams, like they'll ease off. And like, no, I don't have them at all. But yeah, I was like to my colleague Tommy, I was like, I just had your voice in my head like all night. Just, I don't even know what you were saying, but it just felt like you were talking to me the whole night. But yeah, that was kind of a strange side effect of going through that, where you do have that many voices in your head at once.
Yeah. That's wild, but makes perfect sense. Jess, F1 is like a very serious sport, but I want to know, what's the most unhinged thing about you personally?
About me? Oh my gosh, now you're asking. What
I'm doing it.
Most unhinged? I mean, I feel like maybe I should ask my husband, because he probably knows what the most unhinged thing about
Phone
me
a friend.
is. Gosh, what's the most unhinged thing about me?
Like, you watch like really trashy TV, no judgy.
Oh god, I mean, I wouldn't even call that unhinged.
Good.
I feel, again,
We wouldn't
like,
either. I'm just trying to think. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like everybody. I was a late arrival to Sarah J. Maas, so the whole ACOTAR series, and now I find myself, I can't go to sleep unless I'm listening to what my husband calls fairy smut.
Yes.
I literally have to have it. Like, he hates me, I swear. I mean, no, he doesn't. I've married a golden retriever of a man.
He seems precious.
He's freaking good at his job too.
I know.
Yes.
Y'all are like a real power couple.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, so I will literally have it on, I'll have the audiobook on loud next to my bed, like, until I fall asleep. And
Not
it's
even
just,
in AirPods. You're
No.
just blasting it into the room the two of you share.
just blasting it. And he's like, to the point where nowadays, like, it used to be, because I used to get really anxious before bed. Like, that's the time, I think a lot of people are the same, right? Where my brain just decides to go, you have so much to do and you're going to fail and everything's bad and nobody likes you and all this stuff. And so the only way I could get that to stop would be if I listened to an audiobook.
Yeah.
And I just so happened, I think it was on our holiday, I got into the ACOTAR series after much resistance. Obviously not that much, because I ended up buying the books. But
Right.
there was one night, the other night actually, where I would find myself falling to sleep quite quickly. So I would set the audiobook up, play. I would fall asleep quite quickly. My husband was still awake. And then the next night I'd be like, oh, but I didn't hear any of this. So I would go back and play the same part again. And the next day he was like, I've heard this same chapter like 3 times. I can tell you everything that happens in it.
We've got to
And
move on.
But
he started quoting it back to me. And
oh my gosh.
I mean, I wasn't that embarrassed, but I felt so bad that I had forced him to listen to Fairy Smut on repeat.
Like a form of torture.
Yeah.
But is he now into it too? Like, does he want to know
I
the
don't think he has a
storyline?
choice,
Like,
unfortunately.
well, I mean, yeah,
he's being like waterboarded with fairy smut, basically.
I should start like doing pop quizzes with him. Like, so what did you learn about Fairy Darling? And no, but he won't even read fiction. Like, he is a total like autobiography. He doesn't like fantasy, he doesn't like anything. And here I am forcing him to listen.
You're like, check this out every night.
Probably like the most extreme version of what he dislikes.
Right.
But yeah.
That's love right there.
It is.
It is.
So yeah, maybe that's maybe the most unhinged thing about me is I can't sleep without fairy smut.
Wow. We got there. You didn't know what it was at first, and then we really locked in.
I love it. So aside from listening to Fairy Smut, what do you do outside of F1 to kind of stay sane? Like, are there travel rituals that you have? Any like must-haves? Anything that you just have to do in order to like, I have to stay in a good headspace?
I am someone that quite often needs something to look forward to. So I quite like to have, when we know that we have these breaks between F1, be that planned or unplanned, I like to have things that I know I'm going to be doing. I think especially doing this job, it's so antisocial. You end up never seeing friends, never seeing family. So I kind of try and like map out. So for instance, this weekend, I am on call, but I'm going to go and see my parents, especially because Chris, my husband, is in Canada. So he's out there on the ground. So I was like, I'm going to take myself off and like see my parents, and hopefully nothing happens that means I need to come back, but I obviously will do if it does. And like just having things like we are going to go in the break between Canada and Monaco, like we've got a little getaway planned. Like I think it's just about having, for me, it's really important, especially because my husband and I both work in Formula One, that we make time for each other and doing like genuinely we love doing the smallest things in life, like whether it's going for a run together or getting coffee together or, you know, just
listening to
having
Fairy Smut
Sundays. It's just listening to Fairy Smut together. So I think it's just protection of, I guess, what for a lot of people in other jobs it is just a given, whereas I feel like in our line of work you just have to be a bit more protective over it, because you could very easily not do those things, and I think I would become an insane person. So yeah, that's
fair. I think, how much do you guys actually, when you're both at on site for a race weekend, how much do you even get to see each other? Or is it just like waking up and going to sleep and that's it? Or do you see each other a decent amount?
So we don't stay together. He's freelance. He books his own travel and accommodation, and Sky books mine. I actually, a lot of people do go like, why don't you guys just stay together? But I think because of our jobs are so different, I tend to start a lot earlier than he does. He tends to finish a lot later than I do. So I think by having our separate spaces, it gives us each other the space to kind of just get on and do what we need to do without the stress of like, I'm going to wake you up early, or I don't want to hang around and wait for you to get home before I'm getting dinner, you know? So we will, I think it varies race to race, because obviously some races are way more busy than others with other stuff going on, like Miami is hectic, but we will usually try and at least do like a dinner. We'll try and stay with each other like one night of the 4 or 5 that we're staying there, and if we can, like he'll message and be like, I'm in the paddock, like where are you right now? And if I've got time, like I might, you know, grab a coffee from a team hospitality with him and just kind of chat for 5 minutes before I have to run off to the next thing. So yeah, it's some races that we see each other more than others, but I think it's important for both of us to have that space, and there's no, like, we both have a really good understanding that if either of us is busy, it's not personal,
right?
Yeah, we have a job to do, and we'll get on, and we'll make. So Miami, we stayed out some extra days and stayed on South Beach, and kind of were able to just kind of sit back and go, look at all these amazing places we get to travel to and actually enjoy them, rather than in the middle of race weekend where you're lucky if you're getting dinner before like 9 o'clock at night or something. So yeah, it's there's definite balance and perks, obviously, working in the same industry together, but yeah, I like the balance that we have. I think it's great.
Well, that makes sense that you're being more protective of the times when you're home, and like you said, kind of just these normal things, because when you are on site, even though you are working in the same space, you have very different roles. And so yeah, very cool.
Well, Jess, we have some lightning round questions that we want to get to. So Natalie, do you want to kick us off with the lightning round?
Who is the easiest person in Formula One to build content around?
Ooh, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I would say,
is it Fred Vasseur?
I love Fred. Smiling
I love
Fred.
I love him so much.
The best guy. But he generally doesn't like the media so much. As in, not he doesn't like us. I just think it's not his bag, right? You definitely get some team principals that blum and love a microphone and a camera, and great, you know, more power to them. And then you get others that are just kind of like that. You can tell that if they could choose for it to not be a part of their job, they wouldn't do it. But I don't know, like, we're so lucky in that, I think, as well, because of who we are. And, you know, we're one of the biggest broadcasters in the sport. most people will talk to us. Most people will help us create content around them or around Formula One. So I don't know if I can say if there's like a favorite or an easy person. I think it generally, like, it probably, like, especially last year, McLaren were, you know, the fact that they were winning a lot of races, they've got two incredibly popular drivers. It does help. But yeah, it changes, because obviously then when it got towards the kind of pointier end of the season, they were wanting to be really protective of driver time, which you can totally understand. Like when you have kind of two of your drivers going for their first world championship, like, you need to protect their space. So we completely respected that, and they are a great team to work with like that. Like, we know if that team ever says not this time, it's because there's a really good reason. But I kind of, every season I go into, I'm excited to see how those relationships and how those storylines change for us each time. Like right now, we've obviously got Kimi Antonelli emerging
on a tear
from his cocoon. And he's becoming a beautiful F1 butterfly. I don't know where that analogy came from, but I ran with it.
I like it. Let's go with it, you know?
Maybe we'll make an opener where we just have Kimi Antonelli coming out of a chrysalis as like, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Or maybe we won't. I have to tell you that, like, there are so many ideas that probably deserve to remain on the
cutting room floor.
The cutting room floor.
Totally.
And a lot of them come
as there
from me.
should be.
And I'm like, well, we should try this trend and make it into TV, and everyone's just kind of look at me like, are you okay? No. But yeah, so yeah, long answer to your question.
That's
I don't
okay.
know if I have an answer.
Okay. That's okay.
That's okay. I think you did answer it.
It's meant to be a lightning round, guys, though. I'm not doing lightning questions. I'm not doing lightning answers.
Girl.
Start the clock.
Yes. What's one Formula One hill you will die on?
Oh my gosh. I feel like I used to have so many, and then I had to mellow out. What is one hill I will die on? I'm trying to think of things that aren't going to get me in trouble.
I know. I'm like,
well.
That's important.
We could see viewers.
See the wheels turning.
I'm like, how do I make this fun without also getting
an angry email?
Well, getting fired as well. Like, that's always.
Well, let's not. I mean, you're always welcome here, but
I'm trying to think of a good one. Oh, there must be one. There must be one that I'm like this. This is the way it is, or should never be the way it is. If a driver can't race in the wet, they will never be a world champion. Even if they accidentally win a world championship, for me, like, they're just not world championship like quality. Rightly or wrongly, formed like so many opinions on drivers based on their wet weather performances, and I think those ones that are considered the greats, not one of them will not be absolute wet weather masters. Like, I think that is just indicative of greatness in this sport. It's kind of sad that, I mean, I think we have had some, like, Brazil 2024 with Max was just insane.
Yeah.
And I was producing that race. Like, we had a lot of fun that day with all the delays and like the craziness of that race and that weekend in general. But yeah, you will see like Lewis Hamilton, insane wet weather driver, Max Verstappen, insane wet weather driver, and Senna, insane wet weather driver.
Right.
All of those.
Lance Stroll. I used to hear that all the time. They would be like, he's so good in the wet. Lance Stroll, WGC 2027.
Lance gets a bad time. And you can see why he gets a bad time. But also, like, yeah, it's just, you just want to get a sense that he wants to do what he does.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get that sense. Right, I don't know whether that's right or wrong. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine either Aston Martin drivers having a great time at the moment. So
no. Well, and he just seems kind of aloof in general, you know?
Yeah,
so I think that's just like his personality. He's kind of just like doing his own thing.
And he doesn't have to be any other way because his dad's the boss. So
right.
Yeah.
Dream job, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big time.
So this may not be as much of a lightning round question, but that's okay. I think in any capacity, it's very important for women to lift each other up. I think especially in the motorsport space, that's something we actively try to do. I'm sure you do in your own way. I was just curious, are there things that you kind of consciously, actively do to try to lift women up in a field that, you know, typically skews more male?
So one of the reasons I was brought into the team was because they recognized that they wanted to make sure that female viewers felt seen and that the stories that we were telling and the ways that we told them were also appealing to our female audience in the right way. So
Yeah.
my biggest pet peeve is tokenism, or like just so I've interviewed a lot of people to come and work in this space, and one of the questions that we ask them is like, what is your understanding of expansive fandom? Like, how do we make sure that we are talking to as many audiences as possible? And, you know, especially because, I mean, our female viewership in the time that we've had the rights has more than doubled.
Yeah,
and
it's incredible.
Phenomenal. And so often the answer I get back, and I'm not saying that this isn't what we should do, because we do this as well, but they tend to just say, we'll do more with F1 Academy drivers. And I'm like, yeah, like that's a given. Like that
we should do.
Mm-hmm.
We have the rights to that. Yes, we should be creating content around F1 Academy drivers. But women are not watching Formula One just because there's an F1 Academy.
Right.
Women are watching Formula One because we love Formula One.
Right.
And it's not just about let's tell female stories. Like that should be a no-brainer. Like that should be It's almost like that's the bottom of the barrel idea, right? Talk about more women in motorsport. Yes, great. We will do that, and we do that. But it's also about, okay, do you really understand why more women are watching F1? Like are you welcoming of their content, how we engage with the sport, what the conversations around the sport that our female fans are having, and are we do we have the respect for that? And oftentimes like that is what makes people go, oh, like what? So I'm hoping that the way that I because I was one of those girls when I was growing up that I would have to go and sit with the boys to talk about Formula One. Like none of my girlfriends were remotely interested. And now we're in a world where, exactly. Like now we're in a world where I get to watch so many women and girls like love this sport. And that was everything that I knew was possible. And it happened. And I'm so glad that it did, or is happening. But I think, there's still a long way to go in terms of validating this way of engaging with sport, that I'm hoping that my influence will help to make that just a given in the way that we storytell, and so that more women feel seen, and then hopefully with that feel like this is a sport that they can engage in. But I'm also so open to like when women and girls reach out to me and they want advice, like I will always give my time to kind of help in some way, whether that's advice or a connection, like networking, that kind of thing. Like I think I've been so fortunate in my life that I was able to kind of fight through the stereotypes to kind of get my seat at the table, that I'm definitely like, I'm putting out the red carpet behind me because I want way more women to be in similar positions to me, or any roles really. Like there's so many things that people can do now, and without the same kind of like, I'll never forget, I won't say exactly who it was, but it was one of my first days with the team, and someone within the paddock, they were so polite about it, but they just looked at me, they said, can I ask you a rude question? I said, yeah, of course. And they were like, why do you like Formula One? And I just thought, like,
why do you like Formula One?
Why do you like that? I think that genuinely was like, that was my reply. And they were like, well, because it's sport. And I'm like, well, yeah, because it's sport.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's just, it's that kind of, I think we haven't turned a corner just yet, but we are.
No.
God knows we out here trying.
We've got like one hand slightly down to try and make the turn.
Right.
So yeah, I think just more acceptance of that side of sport is what's needed, and hopefully, that will be part of what I can help with.
We'll get there.
I was looking on Instagram and saw that there was a podcast that someone had put out, and the thing that they had talked about was, for so long, the assumption has always been that the default fan of sports is men. And and not just with Formula One, but with any other sport in general. And so it has left women behind, and it's left women behind in like marketing. It's left women behind in storytelling. It's left women behind in participating in working in these sports. And so I'd love to hear your perspective on that, and that you, as a woman working in sport, that you see that and that you're championing other people to get into that space. Kind of speaking of that, is there someone in the space that we might not know that you think we should know about, that maybe we should follow or be listening to?
That's a great question. I'm trying to think. I feel nowadays, I mean, I will never forget a couple of years ago, I got called the grandma of like social media in Formula One, and I was like,
excuse me,
I'm 35 years old, like,
right,
I'm not even old enough to be a mum.
baby.
I feel like I'm not even old enough to be a mum yet.
Yeah,
right, you're like, I'm just a girl.
I'm like, I've just started, what do you mean? So I actually I feel sometimes like people know more about this stuff now than I do, because it was kind of a world that I was all encompassed by, and then I felt like there's just been so many emerging people that are just brilliant. Who's somebody that stands out that I feel like people should know about? Because I feel like everybody knows about Tony Cowan Brown. She's fabulous and a good.
She's amazing.
Another gorgeous redhead.
Exactly.
Right.
Although she's natural, and I'm not. I choose this.
Shh.
Could have fooled me. Looks great.
We'll edit that out so that
yeah, cut that out.
So yeah, who else? Yeah, I can't think of anybody that's like hidden nowadays. Like so many people have got such great platforms now that I just there's almost too many.
Well, there's
there
always
like
me
a
and
favorite
Natalie.
kind of. Yeah, we're out here. Is there like a favorite kind of content that you consume, or when you're not, are you like on social and not trying to think about motorsport at some point?
I just feel like you can't escape. I am like perpetually online.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
us too.
I feel like, how else does anybody operate other than being perpetually online?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I'm like obsessed with at the moment. I find myself like not to get political, but I am like obsessed with your guys' politics at the moment. I find
Girl, it is just scary over here.
Living in like this dystopian world, so I'm just like I feel like the algorithm is just skewed massively to that at the moment.
Literally, welcome to the Thunderdome. I don't know what's happening over here.
I've been watching SNL UK lately, and like being
obsessed
able to see
that.
Oh my gosh, it's so like, oh, it's so good. But being able to see the ridiculousness from a global scale, I mean, like, okay, I feel seen, I feel heard. I feel like other people know what we're going through. It's so good.
Just you all have a guest room, because Allison and I are trying to get out of here.
Yeah,
just let us know.
Yeah, maybe let's give it. I'd say I'd give it a couple of years, because we might be heading down the same track at the moment, which is terrifying.
Hey,
but yeah, I think if there's one thing that connects us as kind of sisters in countries, is the ability to poke fun at actually something that's quite terrifying. Because SNL and SNL UK are essentially doing the same thing as each other, right? And
so good.
At least we can laugh about it, right? At least we can
laugh so you don't cry. But I'm probably doing that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can be honest, because
the SNL UK team are like my latest obsession. Like, I absolutely love them. I love them.
Yes, I just keep like what is her name? Anya Magliano. I ran across her stuff on Instagram, and I was just kept scrolling through it because I was obsessed. Like, she's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, her stand-up stuff is so good. And I forget his name, 4 Acres. What is his first name?
Yes.
Who does the Keir Starmer skit.
He's so good.
I'm obsessed with him.
Natalie, have you watched it? Do I need to make you come watch it? Give you my Peacock login?
I've seen part of an episode, but I need to lock in because I'm getting some FOMO right now. So I will definitely.
Well, you've got 8. They've just finished season 1, so you have 8 episodes to binge watch.
Okay,
Although I don't know
perfect.
if I could do
Right.
8 episodes of it in a row because I probably would cry at the,
Sure.
the
Yeah, yeah.
satire
Yeah.
level. But yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
little
space
too
it out.
real. Yeah, what wild times out there. I guess the last
What
question we
unprecedented
have.
times.
Yeah. We're
Make it stop. I guess the last question I have is, when can you come back? Because we still have so many questions for you. This was such a lovely
Yes.
conversation. Thank you so much for making
of course.
time for us in the middle of your workday. What a treat.
It's been fun. I can't
Yes.
believe like over an hour has gone by. It didn't feel like an hour.
I,
so
same.
I will
Just
have to,
same.
I was
if
watching-
you have me back, I would come back anytime.
Yay!
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to do we'll save our Google Doc. We'll have to do a part 2. Then we'll have more
Love that.
questions, I'm sure, and then not get to all
Hey.
those. But Jess, thank you so much for your time. Really, really, like I said, just really excited to have you on here. I know the listeners are really going to enjoy this conversation, and we'll just be cheering you on from afar.
Well, likewise. Thanks so much, girls.
All right, take care.